100K BTC. It felt like we waited so long, and when it happened, was there excitement? I don't know. Was there enough excitement? But guys, Bitcoin at 100K. I mean, this is an amazing day, isn't it? We are finally there. We've got what we wanted. But what does this mean for these altcoins now? Because you've noticed these altcoins haven't exactly taken off, and a lot of the coins that I looked at yesterday are still floating around. Some are actually at lower levels than they were yesterday. So we got a lot to talk about here with these altcoins. How are we going to trade these things? Is this bearish now? Is this bullish? So much going on here. Let's get right into it. Remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. Now, yesterday I wasn't on Plus, I was on the main channel. A little bit of musical chairs going on here at the moment, but this is my home, Banter Plus, and this is where you can normally find me. So make sure you are liked, you are subscribed, you're doing your thing. Ray is obviously in the house, and he's cooking here. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Things are going down, and Bitcoin might be going down just a little bit. But let's jump into Banter Bubbles here and take a look. Jasmine. Now, we've covered that one quite a lot on the show. I mean, not enough, okay? But a 41% pumper. I mean, that's a nice surprise for us. Sui waking up. WLD. We've seen a revival on some of these AI tokens again. Look at Render, Fetch from yesterday. That thing has bounced quite hard now, and that is looking good. So all over, things are looking quite nice. Litecoin banged straight up, stopped me out on my short, pretty much at entry there, but now that thing is looking hungry again. 15% up, but GRT also doing its thing, and all over stacks. Look at that. We're talking about some stacks today, and I've got a few other tokens that we don't talk about often that I'm bringing you today, including Aptos. We're going to take a look at that, and then there's a few other potential AI listings that might be on the table for us. So there's lots of alpha coming in here today. Let's take a look at where we are with BTC. And this is what I was saying now. Could be going down a touch. Now, we had this beautiful pump on BTC. Now, if you were watching for the last couple of weeks, you know I had this theory that we were going to get a pump from BTC through 100K. And what would be the biggest or max pain for everybody was to FOMO guys late in at 100K and then start dumping it. So has the process started now? Is this the top for BTC, or is this just a little sell-off now while things settle a little bit here? So BTC pinged 104K. I mean, that was a lot bigger push than I was expecting. I was looking for like 101, 102, and then some kind of reversal there. And now we are falling over. So interesting zones that we need to pay attention to. 100K. Look at that. 100. 471. That is my 382, but I don't have much support other than that there at the moment. But I do have a very interesting zone here. Okay, at 99,300, I've got my VWAP from the lows. I've got some horizontals here, and it's a 0.5. So I think this is a pretty hot area. We should get some kind of bounce there after the sell-off, and it would make sense to me that they come and they clean out this candle. I mean, this candle was a little bit hardcore, okay, for a 2-hour candle, and probably makes sense that they come and just flush this candle out a little bit. So look out here. If we don't bounce at 100, 400, I would say looking for an action at this type of zone, 99,300. We're looking for something in that area there. That should give us something. If that fails, your backup zone, 97,800. So those are the zones I would suggest looking for bounce longs on if we do get those pushes into those areas. So that guy, 97,800 could be a banger. And then we do have this guy. I think that that could deliver you something. Okay, it will deliver you a bounce somewhere along those lines. So you're looking for something like that of these types of zones here. Remember, these charts go straight into chart hackers afterwards, so you'll be able to use them for reference going forward. Okay, so keep your eyes on that. So downside levels, you've got upside levels. Well, we've got lots of liquidity. I've highlighted this for you. I've taken it out of the liquidation heat map. So if there is a pump, we are looking at this liquidity box over here. So this is this whole region here. If you take a look at the heat map, you can see to the upside here, 104,500 down to about 103,800 is a bit of a hot zone there. So look out for a rejection. If we do get a second pump into that zone, look out for some kind of sell-off in that area. Okay, and that's pretty much a wrap on where we are with BTC on the 2-hour. Now, I've been scrounging around hunting for a couple of trades here, and I was looking at XRP. I've closed my XRP short and started an XRP long, but now is this a bit premature if BTC is going to start falling over? So we're going to take a look at that, and I am playing around with Bonk at the moment as well, looking for some kind of pop of a trend. So we're just trying to preempt a couple of things here, but I'm going to take you through those charts in a couple of minutes. And Peter Schiff, well, remember this, okay? This was 2019. And he goes, it looks like the Bitcoin pump is finally over. Get ready for the dump. And then some guy says, well, Peter, in the future, Bitcoin dumps 25%. You're going to say, I told you it would dump. And Bitcoin drops 100 to 75K. And Schiff said, keep dreaming. Bitcoin is never going to hit 100K. I mean, this guy's probably getting tons of abuse now, okay? Because we are finally there. And let's just take a look while we celebrate this bullish moment. Okay, it's a wonderful moment in the land of crypto. Bitcoin returns since 2010. Okay, look at this. 2010, from the beginning to the end of the year, 9,900%. You can see all the moves over time. And I mean, there were a couple of red years, but generally, overall, this thing goes up. 144% up so far this year. Did anybody expect that? I mean, it's pretty impressive what has happened here. And I think, you know, we suffered in that bear market getting there. 22 and 23 was quite a hard ride, but look at 23, strong finish there at 23, 156% up. But it felt like we were in the hell zone there, 22 to 23. It was a rough ride as far as BTC is concerned. And Lark Davis reminding us, and so it begins. Now, where were the buyers at 60K? Nobody wanted to buy this shit at 60K. They're saying it was going to zero. Now it's 100K. Are they going to start stepping in? Okay, and I see Cunning George says 2025 is going to be the year. Well, this is always the case with BTC. No one wants to buy it when it's red. Everyone wants to buy it when it's green. Okay, and then it will continue to pump. It will continue to do so. And then breaking news here, Donald Trump officially nominates pro-Bitcoin and crypto Paul Atkins as his next SEC chair. I mean, that's pretty bullish on its own. And I see Rocco. Rocco says Schiff has been the stupidest investor. Isn't he a gold boy? Doesn't he love a little bit of gold? I think he's big on his gold. And then this is going to be a problem. Okay, this is going to be a proper problem for us. If we play this right, Bitcoin over 100K, alts looking nice, maybe some retest on alts, maybe some new entries coming for these altcoins, but this is going to be our problem. I don't know, Ray, which one do you like? I know Ray likes a Maserati. He fetched me in one of those ones there on the left. I see a Bentley, that's quite nice. Ray likes a Rolls. Hey, what are you going for there, bro?
So either a Rolls Royce or a 𝗙𝗓𝗟𝗟𝗔𝗡𝗙.
Nice. Well, I mean, there's a very old Ferrari on the right here, but I quite like that. Look at that Lambo. That Lambo looks fun. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. But let's take a look. BTC on the 3-day. You can see the picture. We finally broken out of this mini consolidation range. So we've been looking at this thing over the last couple of days, saying these are the highs, and I was happy. As long as we get some consolidation in that type of region, that is what I was looking for as the most bullish play for me on BTC. Now, it's done a little bit early. We only had, what did we have? 3, 6, 9. We had 12 days of consolidation. Now we have popped out of this range. So what does this mean now for BTC players? Well, number one, it gives us new support that we can play with on higher time frames. So it's always nice when you're banging up at a resistance zone like that on 3-day candles. It does tell you that that can act as support on any pullback. So if we look at that, what is that as our major support now? I would say anything down to 99 is support that we can use on the current 3-day chart. And this potentially opens up that 113 target that we've been looking at for the last couple of weeks, 113,900. That is our potential target. That's our 2618. Okay, that is, it's locked in. Okay, loving the sound of that. And I think we could get there now. That little break there has potentially helped us. As long as we start holding, say 99, it would be pleasant. If we can hold this 99, just grind through there and then give us some kind of rejection. So all is well so far from that sense. And okay, watching BTC here, reacting on a 382 for now. But remember, the big zone for me is there, 99,200. I'd love to see that for us. Clean little retest. That would be rather pleasant. Now, Ben Cowan, he loves this. Okay, he absolutely loves this. And he says maybe one last time just for the memories, then Alt BTC pairs up in 2025. So he was always predicting that there was going to be one more dip on these altcoins. So that hasn't changed in spite of what we've seen now over the last while. And I've also been showing you a couple of charts that might tie in with his sentiment here. But he was looking for one more dip versus BTC on the alts. And this is now potentially coming true for him today. Let's see if this carries on for a longer period of time. I suspect there is going to be quite a lot of alt pain because one of these red days might be with Bitcoin falling over as well. So things could get a little bit more pressurized for us. But so far, he's nailed his calls. Okay, and yeah, so far so good. Now let's take a look at dominance. This was the big one that I spoke to you guys about yesterday, and I had a couple of concerns. Now, the show yesterday, I mean, it's actually quite hilarious. Everybody comes in late, okay, and there's guys in the comments, and they just look at the title, and then they make a judgment on the whole show based on the title and the picture. And what I was saying was, I said yesterday, is the top in, but the topic was, is the top in for the altcoins? And I'm not talking about the top forever. What I was talking about was some kind of pullback. And one of the charts that I showed you was this BTC dominance chart on the weekly. And one of my arguments yesterday was, if we bounce here, okay, we're going to get some kind of alt rejection. Now, you can see we've had quite a big bounce here on when BTC started pumping higher. Now, fortunately, the alts were okay on this dominance move. They didn't get absolutely wrecked because Bitcoin pumped through 100K. Okay, and all the liquidity moved into BTC. So the real test here is if this dominance starts pumping when Bitcoin falls over, that is what you need to watch for. Because if that happens, then these alts get absolutely wrecked. And that is what I was trying to warn you guys about yesterday. But now, as you can see, this dominance weekly candle, it was actually up here earlier today. So even though Bitcoin is falling over now, we can see this dominance candle is actually pushing lower. And if we zone in, let's look at the 1 hour. Here we go. This is perfect. So we're zooming in on the 1 hour. We can see Bitcoin now falling over, but dominance is also falling over. So that's telling us that these alts might be okay now for this current move. So happy that these alts, the dominance is dropping while Bitcoin is dropping. That keeps things super comfortable for us. And then this chart again, you know, this thing keeps going up. And they're saying it's altcoin season, But I mean, whenever I look at this chart, it just feels like the alts top out when we're here. Okay, Ray, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but when I look at this,
I concur. That thing is a straight line up.
Yes.
I mean, look at every time it went up in a straight line.
Correct. All the fun has been happening. All the fun we've had is here. Are you saying there's going to be more fun and we're going to blow through 100? I don't know. It just feels hot. Okay, it still feels hot, and people getting angry that we're saying the market is hot. But guys, in reality, the market is hot. I'm still net long. Okay, what I am actively doing though is looking for short opportunities when I can get them, because when there is a pullback, we're going to be sitting in a couple of shorts that are going to be printing, and those shorts are going to pay for any stops on the longs, and they're going to help us buy more tokens on a dip. They're going to help us buy lower down. So I'm actively looking for short situations. So I'm going to continue to do so. And just the look of this chart here at the top, you can see, I mean, look at in 2021, okay, we had a mega alt season, but look at this. It just chopped around up here. So maybe if we get consolidation up here in this level for a while, then it will make sense. But if we get a hard reversal, guys, I think we're going to struggle a little bit on these alts. And then I showed you guys this one yesterday. And again, I'm just compiling what's in front of me. Okay, I'm giving you guys what I see, and I can give you my plan, and I can give you my thoughts. That's all I can do. If you want me to be a perma bull, that's not really my vibe. Okay, I just like to give what I see. And what I see is some things in dangerous territory. And this tweet that I showed you guys yesterday, Bitcoin's top too soon. And this is from Martin. And I remind you what he said. He said, every time the open interest on all crypto ex-Bitcoin diverges from Bitcoin, a local top forms. And right now, the divergence is the largest ever, both in absolute terms and percentages. And he gave that warning. We did have a pullback yesterday. Okay, but was it big enough? Was it big enough to flush out enough? You know, we're going to have to update and see where we are from that respect. But you can see what happened here. This is total 3, and this is all our altcoins excluding BTC and ETH. And you can see we had our rejection. So this is our major rejection zone. And we didn't reject hard, but we did have a rejection there yesterday. Now the alts are trying to fight back. And you can see they're fighting back while that dominance is dropping. So interesting times, I mean, to say the least. If we do get a pop through this, yes, then I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And then I think there's going to be a hard push in the market. But let's get through 1.13 trillion first. Let's pop through this region first. Then we can start maybe getting a little bit more excited if you aren't excited already. Okay, if you aren't excited already, guys. And then ETH versus BTC on the weekly. My plan was always this pump and then that rejection. That is what I'm looking for. Okay, right now it's still in play. So right now, no changes here. You can see it's rejecting at this weekly level. There is a resistance zone here for ETH versus BTC. So there is still a chance that this thing can fall over. Okay, so just keep your eyes on this situation. I'm giving you the information in front of me. You can see we're tricky times here for some of these altcoins. And Gilbert says, join the chart hackers, the best new group on the block. Guys, I must say, it is the best new group on the block. Where's DJ and Dave? Hold on. Did I not send him my link? Hold on. I'm getting DJ and Dave in here. Let me see where he is. Hold on. You were supposed to get this link. Okay, he's probably sitting in the sidelines. Dave, get you, bro. I need you. Okay, come. I'm telling him to come. Okay, DJ and Dave is bringing us to see. I forgot to send him the link. Sorry, he's coming in now. Okay. Let's go. Raoul Paul talking ETH. Now, there's lots of ETH talk at the moment, as you guys know. And I see Crypto was talking about ETH breakouts and things like that too. And here's Raoul Paul just telling us ETH with its nose pressed against the ceiling. If this breaks, it's going to be spectacular. Okay, and it's looking spectacular. Let's be fair. ETH is looking hungry. ETH is looking hot in spite of, okay, the divergences, the pain. You can see all these things going on here. If the market wants to push it up, the market's going to push it up. The market couldn't give a shit about divergence if it's hungry, and they're going to pump this thing. If this thing's going to pump, it's going to fly. Dave, welcome. Sorry, bro, I forgot to send you the link. Ray, Dave was sitting there waiting, saying, where the fuck's the link? Welcome, bro, welcome. We're going to bring him on in a sec. Okay, so here's ETH on the daily. Let's just talk about interesting levels. You can see our current resistance band. We are trying to pop through this right now. So the 3,900 zone, a little bit of pressure here on the upside. You can see this was our rejection zone, and then we got another one here, 4,080. If there is a sharp move and some kind of rejection on ETH, I would expect it to happen in one of these zones over here. Okay, if they are going to absolutely blast ETH, well, then our next target is going to be mid fours. So call it 4.3 to 4.5 is what we're going to be looking for on ETH. Okay, so ETH absolutely cooking. We've seen it. Everything is waking up. Even these NFTs are starting to wake up again for us. And then Ansem had something interesting to say about every day Bitcoin is over $100,000 and Sol is not over 1K is a massive market mispricing. Now, I must say that is why I've got so much conviction on the Sol trade that I'm sitting in, and I absolutely refuse to close this thing until we get to at least 400 or 500 on Sol. Otherwise, they must come and they must end me. So I watch the Sol chart closely every day, as you guys know. And just to confirm where we are, we had a sell-off yesterday, strong recovery on Sol. I'm going to show you the DGen chart in a second, but no changes on the weekly levels here. 200 is our zone, 190 is our zone. That's all you need to worry about for spot traders. That is all your concern right now. Now, DGen traders, slightly different story. Yesterday, the market was falling over. What did we say? We said 220 for Sol. Look at this banger. Anchored VWAP, 382, ping, and a nice strong bounce there for us. And we also rocketed off on BTC. I mean, how was that, Ray? It happened so quickly. And we missed that entire pump.
Come on, BTC. We called it. We called it on the show.
We called the level. I mean, we called the level, but I didn't take the trade. But here it is. I mean, this was an absolute banger. Look at this thing. Okay, straight into our horizontal, straight into our VWAP, that 94,700 we were looking for. I mean, it was absolute beauty, that thing. But it happened, I think it happened during the show. Yeah, anyway, we missed that whole move. But that is that. So let's go. Let's talk Sol. So Sol DGen players. You can see what's going on now. We printed a nice higher low here. We had our oscillator talking to us as well, giving us a bit of a push, telling us there was a clue that things were going to push up there for Sol. So that was a nice little move for us. And now our big support is going to be the 220 level once again that we can use. And then as far as DGen levels are concerned, well, you can take a look at what is going on here. We've had our VWAP acting as resistance in the zone. Resistance. Now we are trying to reclaim that. So if we can reclaim this VWAP, I suspect there's a little bit more action coming for Sol around the corner. So let's watch that. I like that dominance is dropping. That is obviously helping some of these coins at the moment. Let's bang out some fibs here. Let's see some DGen levels. So absolute DGen levels. Okay, the DGeners out there, the high leverage savages, levels that you can watch for Sol. 236 and 231 is where you're at. Okay, DGen levels. Okay, savages, that's for you. So what have we got? We've got a trend break. We're going to look for an action off that guy, or we're going to look for a slight dip lower into that one, and one of those should be our ticket then for a nice bullish move. That's if the bulls are going to step in. So your levels are 236, 231. Watch those guys. Any dips into there could be for a bullish retest, could be for a buy there. For you guys on Sol, and that's a classic trend break and retest that you are going to be looking at there. So that is looking okay. And then let's take a look here. Maybe a mistake, but I've closed that XRP short. I've now flipped long on XRP. I've started a long XRP position. I've started a bit of a dodgy bonk position. I'm going to show you why in a couple of seconds. You can see SHIB, guys. I've been holding the SHIB for a long time. It's starting to perform now. SHIB is actually slowly grinding up. That is something to watch. Celestia, Don't ask me why I'm trading that shit coin. Somebody told me, take the Celestia trade. So I've taken it. Does anyone know? Ray, why am I trading Celestia, bro? Dupe, that's a trade. I can't believe I'm trading Celestia, bro. Dupe was a trade I dropped in Chart Hackers earlier today. That one, it's flat at the moment. I'm going to show you that Dupe chart. There could be something happening there. So Dupe started looking really good on some stall strength earlier today, and Dupe started breaking into another weekly zone. So the play here is breakout play of a horizontal, trying to chase the next 30% move. If it plays out, then we'll see. It was chaos. Did chaos tell us to trade Celestia? Okay, there's some Doge action there. Then my Brett trade, no changes on that. Pepe, look good. Okay, Pepe's grinding, guys. Pepe's doing the hard yards for us, and I'm going to show you that chart. It's looking very much like Brett did for a while, and I suspect we could get a nice blowout on Pepe, so I don't want to miss that opportunity. Phantom as well. There was a hackers trade that we dropped earlier as well. Phantom, AVAX, no changes. Sol, no changes. Okay, so that's what's going down at the moment. Let's talk bonk. Okay, I've started a sneaky little bonk position. Okay, and the reason being, we know bonk can pump. We know if Sol starts popping, there could be bonk action, whiff action, popcat. You know the drill, okay? Sol ecosystem plays. Now, bonk is creeping up here into this horizontal, and it's by no means out of the woods, okay? We've got resistance here in front of us. We can see that. I've also got, on one of these time frames, I've actually got my quantum reactor in the way as well as resistance. We just got to see where it is here. I think it's on the 2 hour. Let's just take a look here. I'm just waiting for my quantum reactor. It's my resistance band. There it is. Okay, we've got the quantum reactor here in front of us here from the chart prime indicator bundle. That is also acting as resistance for us on bonk. So there's a little bit in the way. Okay, but I'm interested because you can see it's getting this squeezy little setup here. There is, if you want to argue, there's an inverse head and shoulders there potentially on bonk. And I just want to, it's a burner position here in case there is momentum. Okay, so if we do get a pop, I'm ahead of the game here, then I can add to bonk. And then there's a nice ride for me on bonk that I'm looking at about 4850, somewhere along those lines. Okay, so that is my strategy here. It's a little bit risky. Where's my exit play? My exit play is 0004223. Okay, that is where my stop loss is. Let's just grab bonk here. Okay, there's my stop, 4233. Okay, that is my stop. I'm not going to stick around to find out. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to hang around. Okay, let's see. If we do get momentum there, you can see it's $15,000. If we start popping, I'm going to double that size. Let's see if we can get a big size going there on bonk, and then start pressing that one. So risky play here, guys. You can see my strategy and what I'm trying to do. Downside is you get stopped out. Okay, and we relook at it. We relook at it tomorrow, and then the XRP army, guys, is it time? Is it time? Have I flipped long in XRP too early? Okay, Ray, have I made a mistake, bro? I closed my short. Is that thing going to go back to $1.60? Or am I going to get stopped now on this long, bro? Dave, where are you on XRP? Do you trade this thing?
Yeah, no, I shorted it the other day, and I'm just going to be a shorter on that guy.
Fuck, bro. I closed my short about an hour ago. And I thought, no, maybe we must flip long here. So I've gone long in case there's a squeeze now on XRP. What I'm expecting is so many people have been shorting this thing. I mean, we've been talking about shorting this thing for ages. Can you imagine, all the late shorts sitting up here? So I thought we get a pump. Okay, so look, that's my strategy. I could be absolutely wrong. I could curse myself for closing that short. It was a banger. But let's see. So I started along here on XRP. What am I looking for? A nice pump here. We want to print a new high, obviously, and then any retest, aggressively buy, and then we look for that push higher. I'm not expecting new highs on XRP, by the way. I'm just looking for a squeeze and then some kind of rejection and maybe an opportunity to short that one again. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, watch the space. Dave, I've got Aptos. What do you got? What do you got first, though?
I mean, I don't know if you want a short or a long.
Whatever you want, bro. Whatever you see.
I got banana here. And, that one looks really good, actually. So
okay, bring out something. Okay, Dave's still deciding what he wants to bring you, but likes bouncer, you know what to do there, sir. make the likes, make the bounces, do they what they want to do, and then we'll bring Dave. Okay, he's our chart hacker DJ, bringing some trades out. Okay, and Dave has got a live session directly after the show for chart hackers members. He's taking them through all his DJ setups that he's eyeing out for the week and a couple of trades. He's been showing them how he takes his trades. He's been showing him how to manage leverage. He's doing all those things. That's all happening in the chart hackers Discord. Okay, so he's gonna join us in a second here. Okay, so XRP guys, risky play here. XRP, I am looking for a squeeze now. I do want to see a move, and let's see if we can get some momentum on that one. And then I thought, let's talk Aptos today. Now, Wise Advice says Sol made a new high, Sui made a new all-time high. Now this L1 could witness a big move. The ticker is Aptos. Here's why this could happen. Okay, he's got BlackRock in there. He's talking about Franklin Templeton doing things with them. He says in September, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority began phase 2 of its pilot program for the Hong Kong digital dollar. All that stuff is busy going down now on Aptos. So let's take a look at Aptos on the weekly and just see what's going on. Now, if we look at this thing now on the weekly, we can see Aptos is in a danger zone, and we are at a chance or at an area where we could get a rejection. Now, no surprises there, because we're also sitting at a rejection zone on the altcoins, and we're seeing a lot of these other alts sitting at weekly resistance. So we understand that could be a danger zone, but as we've known and as we've seen, the music is still playing in the market and there are breakout opportunities. So what you can do is you can look for the breakout plays and try and take advantage of the next trade. And the next trade on Aptos for me is going to be this move from this weekly resistance to the highs. And we're looking at about a 34% on Aptos. But how do we get there safely? Okay, especially as leverage traders, how do we get there as safely as possible? So all I can give you guys here is a degen setup on the 4-hour time frame, and what I've highlighted here is support that you can use now. Okay, so if we do get some kind of dip here on Aptos, you might still be in play for that big trade, even down to 13.37. That could still be a hot zone for you guys for Aptos. So the strategy number one is wait for some kind of dip into that zone, then test the waters. 13.37, that could give you your access into this big trade that we're looking at, that big move. Alternatively, what you can do is you can dial in on a lower time frame, something like this. Okay, and you want to look out for the break of this horizontal. So what you can see here is that you got a thick horizontal band. Okay, it's not perfect at the moment, but you can see what we've got. So other option for you guys is that if this thing gains momentum, okay, so there's no trade here. If this thing starts getting momentum and starts pushing through that zone, that is what you're going to be using as support for that potential trade. So there's a potential trade lower, or there's a potential trade higher for Aptos. So basically what you want to do, you want to pop it up and then catch that little pullback on the 1 hour, even the 15-minute candles, and then you want to try and catch that ride. So Aptos, look for the break of 14.61. If you can break 14.61, when that comes back as support, you want to use that as a bullish support zone, and just look out for a slight dip lower. Sometimes they love to come back into the range and then send it back. So you could typically see a situation like that, a pop higher, then they come back into the zone, and then they send it higher. So just look out for that type of move. It's a fake out back into the range as well that they like to play with you guys. And that's the market makers and the guys that play the games. Okay, so a possible trade to the upside coming. Be patient there. Let it break 14.6. Alternatively, 13.4 is where you're going to be looking for a bullish move. Okay, nice bullish bounce there on Aptos. So that is that. And then Pepe, guys, I really like the look of Pepe. Now, I've been talking about it for a while. You can see I'm sitting in this Pepe. We've been nursing this trade together. I mean, we've got our inverse head and shoulders. You can see there's something going on here. Now, remember, we saw Brett in a similar situation, just ranging like this, just ranging. And then all of a sudden, Brett exploded out of nowhere and we broke all-time highs. And now they've come back for a retest on Brett. Now, I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but it looks the same. It looks very similar to Brett. And that is why I keep nursing this Pepe position. I don't want to not be in Pepe in case there is a big move here. So what I've got for you guys, I hope some of you have been taking this Pepe trade with me. But if you haven't and you're looking for an entry, your support you can use multiple zeros 2036. That guy over there, multiple zeros 2036 is going to be a banger support for you. There's multiple VWAPs here, and it's got a 618, and it's got horizontals. So that is my first zone. And then a little bit lower, 1968 could be a banger there for you guys. Okay, so those are the bullish zones that I would pay attention to on Pepe. If you're trying to get into this trade, you can see here, we printed that lower low, but now we've got the higher low in play, inverse head and shoulders. All we need now is that bullish pop here, and then I think this thing starts flying again. Okay, just like Brett did. So watching this one closely. Hopefully some of you guys are in this one from yesterday. In fact, let me know in the chats who's in this thing. Do you guys take the trades? Tell me what you got. Yes, Pepe got listed on Binance the other day, Binance US. It's got listed on there. Let's see, guys. Are you taking these trades? Let me know which trades you have taken in the last couple of days from the show. Did anyone catch the XRP short? Let me know. And I see John says XRP is going back to 50 cents. John, that's the spirit. We just got to make sure we are in that short. And Remy says it's going to pump more. So look, there's mixed reactions here. Richard likes the squeezy bum time. Well, that will be fun. And they're going to say pump XRP to liquidate. David, come on, guys. Come on. Where's the good spirits here? What else we got? Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. Who's got PayPay? I got that PayPay. I've got that thing. And what else we got? Are you talking about PayPay, that other meme coin? Are you ripping off the way I say Pepe? I see Burnt is in Brett. Okay, good. We're all in Brett. What else we got? In PP. Yeah, you guys don't like the way I say PP. I think it's a problem. Fucking hell. Okay, let's talk Phantom. This was a trade setup I dropped in Chart Hackers today, and yeah, it was looking good. So what did we get out of Phantom? We got a drop into one of our hot zones. So I gave you a couple of areas yesterday of interest and notable for us. Again, the beauty of the oscillator, the prime oscillator that we're using, and this is the one in the course, and this is the one the Chart Prime guys are doing in Chart Hackers. Remember, in Hackers, the Chart Prime guys are there. The guys that made this, they are in Chart Hackers with us. And this oscillator was just beautiful. And we did my school workshop today, and we were talking through this, but the signs were there on Phantom for the reversal. If you were watching the oscillator, look at this. We had our print over here, and we had a little reversal sign, but what happened? We dipped into our hot zone, and then we printed that divergence. Look at that bullish divergence. Price going lower, oscillator turning up, the oscillator actually telling you that there's divergence coming. That's a sign. Then it starts ripping. What do they print? A buy sign as well. As if there wasn't enough there, they gave you the buy sign, and then Phantom gave us a nice little move. So anyone trading Phantom at the moment, we have broken trend. Chart Hackers, I did drop a note in there saying raise your stops. If you're in this thing, raise your stops now. Don't give up your gains. You're a few percent up now from that breakout trade, and it peaked at about 6%. So not a bad move so far. Is there more in the tank for Phantom? Well, potentially there is. So what I would say is, remember, our upside target, if the market stays bullish for Phantom, is 1.6 is what I'm actually looking at. And how do we get there? Well, D-Gens, this is your support for today. 1.24. Okay, D-Gens, 1.24 at a stretch. Okay, if we don't bounce here, okay, at a stretch, 1.21. That's still bullish for me. Okay, watch those levels. They both hot zones. They both reaction zones here for you. 1.24 and 121. That should be bullish. If they bounce there, you should be cooking. And then that 1.6 could potentially be on track for you guys. So that is cooking there. Rune. Who wants Rune? I've got Rune. I've got it. Who's asking for Rune? Funny money. I've got you covered. I'm doing a whole menu for you guys today. Brett, I'm just looking at the lower time frame on Brett for you guys, but just remember the Pepe chart I showed you. Look at this, okay? Doesn't this look like Pepe? That, okay? You know what else looks like that? Whiff, okay? Something's going on here. If the market turns bullish, these things are going to explode. So Brett, it's already done it. It's already popped. Yes, we are waiting for listings for Brett. Is it ever going to happen? No one ever knows. But when it does happen, 20-30% pump coming in an hour on Brett. Okay, and I want to make sure that I have a piece of that. So anybody trading Brett with me, levels to watch today, new zones, big banger, 191, 0.191. Look at this, 0.191, 786 VWAP horizontals, bang. That's a hot zone, 0.191. That is what I like. A little bit lower, a little bit higher up, 195. So any weakness into these areas, I would say you could buy that. Okay, look for buys there. And if the market's going to capitulate, well, that's another story. But if we get a tiny little sell-off here, looking for buys there, guys, that is where you could potentially accumulate some Brett and get some Brett action going. I see David's also in some Brett there. And who's in Fetch? I see Long Gang. The Long Gang threes. Hopefully you in Fetch from yesterday as well. There was a nice little bounce on Fetch, wasn't it? Quite an aggressive move there. Okay, let's go. Let's go Rune. Okay, here we go. So Rune protocol design is peak cash flow engineering. DEX revenue stay in Rune, daily burns running negative 13K, system makes money, token captures value, fundamental people. That sounds like it makes you happy. Let's look at Rune here on the daily. So we can see Rune at major resistance. Where have we seen that? Aptos at major resistance. Lots of other tokens, major resistance. There's no surprises yet. Total 3, major resistance. But what happens if we pop through those areas? So Rune on the daily, I just want to give you key levels on the daily. Anyone looking for Rune on the daily, what if the market pulls back? 6.44. Okay, is where it's at. That is your first hot zone, 6.44, a little bit lower down, 5.85. Those are your hot zones to the downside. So if there's a market meltdown here, limit buys, get ready there, okay? 6.44 and 5.85. Those are your limit buy zones. Degens, I've got you, okay? If you want to play the move for the next range, if you want to play the next trade, if you say, this market stays bullish, we're going to churn higher. What is my next big move on Rune? The next big move is 34%. How do I get a taste of that if things stay relatively bullish here? Well, you look for an entry on a degen basis. This is the 1 hour time frame I've got for you guys, and basically looking for something pretty simple here. So you can see I'm pulling out the oscillator, because what we like to see is we like to see the oscillator resetting at the lows. When the oscillator resets at the lows on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, that tells us we could get a bounce. So we're going to keep our eyes on the oscillator. And while that is happening, we're going to track Rune down into the hot zones. So if Rune starts melting down here, that for me is zone number 1 where we get a bounce. Now you're going to track the oscillator, and if that oscillator is resetting round about the time Rune gets there, that could be a sign for you to look for longs. If you got a hot zone tied in with the oscillator bottoming out, that's pretty bullish, okay? But then a little bit lower down, if there is more pain, your next one is going to be this region. So I'm going to read you these levels, 6.73 and 6.288. Okay, those are your zones. If you want to attack that next region, if you think the market's got more energy before a capitulation or some kind of flush out, those are your zones. You're going to pick this thing up, and that could be your ticket to a 34% trade on Rune. Okay, so it could be an absolute banger. Just be careful, be patient, wait for these zones to come to you, let it drop into these hot zones. Remember, these things are like baskets. When it hits those areas, absolute rippers off some of those zones. Like Popcat yesterday, I need to know. In fact, I have to know. Who in the chats got Popcat yesterday? While it was happening, was capitulating into the zone. I gave you guys that entry. I need to know who got some Popcat yesterday. That was an absolute banger. I think we had about a 14% move on Popcat yesterday. Absolute banger. Absolute banger. Davey, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Ready. Yes.
What have you got?
I'm going to show banana.
Banana. Okay, I got stopped out of banana because I got too aggressive. I added too hard. And I should have just left my original size, and it stopped me out. So do we have a new entry coming?
Yeah, no, I'm not too far from the entry right now. I gave it in the hackers in our group here last night, and it's just kind of holding itself. And
okay,
there's a lot of other signs here showing it.
Okay, we're gonna banana again. We're going to banana again, guys. Okay, let's talk a couple of things here. Oh, stacks. I want to give you guys stacks. I'm going to rush through the stacks as well. It's important. When we see Bitcoin strength, we need to look at things like stacks, Audis. What are the other bangers, Ray, that we love on BTC? Even Dog. I think it's called Dog. One of those things.
Sats. What about Sats?
The ordinals, man. Movie, yes. Ordi, Sats, Rats.
There you go. Rats, 1,000 rats. That's the one. That thing can rip. So strong Bitcoin, strong stacks. We know stacks likes to follow Bitcoin and often pumps a lot harder. And when I show you the chart, you're going to understand it. So just a reminder, guys, Bitcoin strength, nice to play stacks with that. And Katrina gave you a little reason as to why she's so bullish on stacks, if you want to read it. But we all know, okay, if you've been watching long enough, you know stacks is a proper project. It's an actual thing. And stacks on the weekly here, guys, blowing through some big levels for us and showing some extreme strength. I mean, let's just look at the size of this move here. From the lows, so from the 5th of August, 180% up. Nice. Okay. Reasonable move to the upside. Now, what do? We know this thing likes to dance with BTC. Let's see if we can degenize something here out of stacks. So same story, exact same principle. If you're looking for a stacks entry and you believe there's a little bit more bullishness in the market, you can either zoom out and say, okay, I'm happy to buy a spot if we drop into that type of zone. Okay, you can be very patient there. 2.5, that type of area could be an absolute banger there on stacks. Then we can also zoom in and say, okay, if we degens here, what if we try and snipe an entry a little bit earlier? So we know that major level 2.5 that I've just shown you is a major weekly level. So we understand that. So this tells us there could be a situation where we drop into this zone, then we bounce, and then we come back here. But when we hit this zone, for me, that's a massive reaction area there, that 2.5. Okay, that's a massive zone there. So if you want to try and build a position on stacks, okay, you believe the market stays bullish, what you can do is start laddering in on some of these key zones. So key zone number 1, 2.7, look at that. Horizontals, bang. 2.7, 382 fib as well. That could be a zone of interest for you. What if we just dip in there and then take off out of that zone? So that is why I like that region there, 2.7. Watch that guy a little bit lower, 2.5. Those are your hot zones there on stacks. If you want a piece of that, there's obviously a lot to come on stacks. I do believe it breaks these highs. And these were the April highs at 3.8. I think it goes higher. Okay, I think we can do more. Okay, look at this. I think we can go up to about 5, give or take. On stacks. So if you want to snipe an entry, that's probably your best plan there, especially for the leverage guys. 2.7 and then 2.5 is where the action is for me. And again, you can track an oscillator on a 1 hour or 4 hour. And remember, the signs are there. When these oscillators bottom out and they give you these prints, look at these little green triangles, things like that. That's when you get your moves. And if it's tying into a hot zone, that's when you push buttons faster. Okay. Lots of button pushing there when you hit those hot zones. Okay, before we bring Banana, let's talk about this absolute shit coin that rugged the whole world again. Okay, 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 meme coin plunges 90% following launch. Okay, this meme business is it's heavy. It's heavy. Okay, Nikita, the 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗟𝗢 girl drops her token yesterday after weeks of building hype. Gets rugged in minutes. Okay, no surprises. Down 88%. What does the internet do? They make a new token called Straight to Our Jail. That thing's pumping. 6,100% up, bro. Absolute cooker.
Wow.
You can't make this shit up. Anyway, memes, guys, you know, I've spoken about this one before. This is Goku. And you guys know I've got interest in this Goku. I love this thing. And I think there's conviction. Yeah, look at this. It's an anime narrative. Okay. And the chart looks okay to me. It's getting bought up. When it drops, it gets bought up. And when it pumps, it holds levels. So, yeah, I like this Goku situation. And I'm just putting it here again. I have shown you guys this one before. And what I suggest is when there is weakness, that's when you can buy. When there's weakness, buy on these types of levels. Okay, look at that. Drops into these zones. When you see weakness here, those are your buy areas. That is what you're looking for. Don't chase pumps on meme coins. Don't chase those fucking launches that dump 90%. This thing's got price action. Okay, look at that. Going down, going up, going down, going up. There's something going on. Okay, it's a vibe. So if you want something there, make sure it's the right one. Now, there's a couple of Gokus, and you got to have the right CA, the right contract address, because there's a few different ones. This one is 6W8FH, okay? 6W8FH. That is how that one starts. Okay, so make sure you have the right one. Then I'm going to get into a few more tokens and some WeX trades, Popcats, and a Bitfunder trade that I took earlier, which is Say. But first, let's learn about bananas. Tell me about bananas. And are we going long?
Let's do it, yeah. So I'm kind of anticipating a weekend pump. Can you see my screen here?
Hold on. There it is.
So I'm anticipating a weekend pump. We've been seeing this every weekend, right? The markets are closed, and I feel like, everyone in the world, with the big volume kind of, closed during CMEs, is there a chance to really pump these altcoins? And we're seeing a lot of these altcoins pump, and, some of them are kind of premature pumps. They'll do a round trip, and then they end up pumping back to those levels throughout the week. And we've been nailing a lot of banger trades. So, catching along on some of these alts, it's too late, right? And we use the pivots to kind of give us the clues on that. A lot of them have ran away from the monthly and the weekly pivots. But one that hasn't taken off yet is Banana. And I've just been watching this guy. And I just saw this as soon as I woke up and I went in here. I saw a not only the oversold confirmation on the 4 hour, but we have this bullish divergence on chart prime. So I like that. When it comes to the pivots, right, in the grand scheme of things, it's on the lower part of the monthly pivots. It's one thing to take a position when it's at the top of the pivots or, kind of around it, but we're kind of at the bottom of it. Not only that, but we got a 50-day MA that ties in at the bottom of that, right? So the 50-day MA is really key. So I like where the pivots are at. I like this bullish divergence print. And so when it comes to TA, we've got this momentum line that I've drawn here from the 22nd of September. We've got a second touch, but we haven't had that third touch, and that's completely okay. I was anticipating that, and I actually have another order ready to add to the position if it happens, but I'm kind of getting the feeling it's not going to happen, and I'll tell you why. So like on the 4 hour, I've got the chart prime money flow point of control, and I love this part of chart prime. I've been using it for about a week now, fallen in love with it. You know, I used to do the fixed range pulls, and I still do, right? It's a free tool in your trading view, but you know, chart prime already has that for you. So we have this money flow point of control, and if I zoom in here, how strong is it? Look, I mean, we're wicking into it, and then we're getting right above it. We wicked into it, we got it right above it, right? So there, and then you've got this liquidity zone right here. So I don't know what's going on, but it's holding itself here. We've got this bullish divergence print, and then looking at the RSI heat map, you can see that banana's at the bottom compared to all these guys. And yeah, it's great. We can take longs, we can do breakout trades, and these things can continue to rip 20-30%, and that's fine. But I'm looking for something that's like not as risky, that has huge upside potential, and that hasn't played out yet, right? And there's not a whole lot to choose from, you know. So I am eyeing some shorts. I've got some banger shorts that I'm going to be sharing with the chart hackers here once I go into my session here. I guess we're supposed to start in like 3 minutes, but banana is a long, and I feel like maybe it's going to have its run this weekend. So what are some simple targets here, right? I've got a 1618, and that move is going to take us to $83. That's kind of the higher time frame target. That would be great. Is it possible? I think so. You know, we saw what happened to Turbo. I gave Turbo, a couple days ago, I said I taken a long right here, and we had a 31% rip. So, you know, these things will just pop out of nowhere. And you know, I'm anticipating the same thing with banana. Even if we take a fib from the high to the low, and we take a look at the hacker zone, our level here is around $66. So even if we have a cute little pump up to $66, that's a nice 13% pump. And if we even get a pump towards these highs, which is also realistic, that's a 25% pump. So I'm feeling a little bit degen on it. I've raised my leverage a little bit here, and you know, I'm feeling like a banana's gonna pop here. There's just a lot.
Okay, well, Dave, I'm back in, bro. There it is. I've opened my first position, buying more on a dip. There we go. I'm ready to fucking go. If this man tells me to take a trade, I just take the trade. This is how it works. Like, he doesn't even have to give me a chart.
You can sell snow to a snowman.
That tells me, like, that guy can message me and be like, I'm going long on XYZ, or I'm shorting XYZ. I don't need a chart. I just push buttons. I was like, okay, open, big size. Anyway, I trust this man. Okay, he's my guy. You can find him, Chart Hackers. He's going into a live session now in the Chart Hackers Discord. Just a reminder, guys, if you don't know what the Chart Hackers is, well, that's our new private Discord. So you can join that by going into the show description underneath the show and join Chart Hackers. We are talking chart prime. We are trading even easy algo in there as well. And the whole team, Chaos is there, DJ and Dave is there, I'm in there. We got the chart prime guys in there. We're doing bots. We're doing automation. We're doing so much shit in there. It's a group of traders, and it's absolutely a banger. So if you want some of that, grab that link in the description. Come join us in Chart Hackers. And the community is 5 days old. It's growing fast. The guys are hyped. The guys are pumped. Live trading sessions happening now with DJ and Dave in a sec. Okay, Dave, we'll see you later, bro. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so there's my banana. Okay, I bought some banana, and I'm going to do it again. You guys saw I was in a banana trade yesterday, and I added too fast. So my size got to probably $25,000 or $30,000 too quickly, and then there was that sell-off, and they stopped me out. So we're going to give it another crack here. Let's see if we can get some momentum. If this thing starts moving, I'm going to add to this trade, and then see if we can start firing it. I see Bonk's turning a little bit green. XRP's turning a little bit green. Okay, we're gonna look at some more stuff. So Alex Becker today is talking. He says Coinbase and Binance are not going to be able to resist listing AI coins like Destra, OXO, anyone, etc. Okay, the volume on these is getting too damn high. He says they want a cut of that hype. Okay, let's look at them. Fine. So here is Desync. This is Destra Network. And I just thought, let's take a look. Here's Destra on the 12-hour. You know what happens when these things get listed. They get mega pumps. Okay, we do understand that. We know how it works. Obviously, it's risky business trying to speculate and these types of things. And ideally, you want a nice entry. So what I'm saying to you guys is, let's keep your eyes on this chart. Don't just randomly ape in, because you never know when it's going to get listed. But what you can do is say, okay, if there's weakness in the market, I should get a buy opportunity in certain areas. So I want to give you one. This is for a spot play, 0.388. Look out there. Okay, 0.388. Nice horizontal, nice trend, some fibbage there for you guys. That could be a nice level. So look for weakness, 0.388. That could be a big pumper there for you guys. It could be, these things open and they're smaller caps as well. So they could absolutely rip. The other one is OXO. And I just want to show you this one too. And let's just see. Yeah, this is OXO. So this is at resistance now. Same story, sitting at a resistance band. So I wouldn't say don't rush into this thing, okay? But just understand where we are in the picture on OSO. And let's try and get you some support levels where you can maybe look to sniffing around for a potential buy. Now remember, this could be a great spot play in the sense that this could pump 20-30% in an afternoon, okay? And you could really do well out of these things, but also you want to be a bit greedy with some of your entries. So a couple of zones that I will watch here. I'm going to add the 236 as well, and I just want to give you some buy zones here. If you want to stack some of this in case there is a listing, look at 325, look at 283, look at these zones, okay? So any weakness into these areas, 325, 283, maybe worth a look here, okay? Spot bags, maybe worth a look in those types of zones, because what typically happens, listing comes, bang, okay? You get a big pop. Make sure if you are buying these things, you have limit sell orders nice and high up, because often those candles are short-lived. They'll pump really high and then there can be a big sell-off. So make sure if you are holding spot, you have preset sell orders. So if it pumps when you're not watching, then you can exit, okay? So make sure that you can jump out at the right time. Now, let's talk WIF. Look at the consolidation on WIF, guys. Looks very similar to Pepe. Looks very similar to Brett. Very, very tight range. Now, I was dropping this in Hackers earlier today, trying to explain to the guys there's two trades for me on WIF. We either want to see it lower, we want to see it dip into those zones for the buys, we want to buy the range low, or ultimately, we want to see it break the range high, and then we want to look for an entry. Now, you can see our VWAP is giving us tons of trouble above. Look at that resistance there from that VWAP. So we understand big resistance band. Let's get through that. If we start breaking that resistance, we're going to use 3.4 as support, and that can be a trade then that we can look to start pushing higher. So Pepe looks like this, WIF looks like this, Brett looked like this, and maybe something is going to be happening here. So look for that. You either want to pop of 3.4, break that, there's a potential long trade for you, or pull back to 2.9, even 3 or 2.9. That is where you want to look on WIF. And then here is Say, and I've traded this one on Bitfunder today. Second crack at this. So we got Say yesterday, and that thing, it started moving, and then there was that sell-off in the market. I'm just trying to see where it was. It was one of these here. One of these sell-offs here. And now Say is showing momentum again. So I want to remind you guys, don't take your eyes off Say. Bigger picture. This thing could be a mover. Okay, look at that. So this is Say on the daily. And what do we got here? We've got 77. We've got 90, and we've got 1.1 on Say. Now, all you need to do is catch the move. Now, that's obviously the tricky part as a DGen if you're trying to catch breakouts, because sometimes you take a few attempts before it starts working out for you. So anyone trading Say now, if you're interested in this thing, your best support is 68 that you could watch. It's a bit of a banger. Okay, it's a banger zone here. We've got VWAP, we've got 382, we've got horizontals in that zone there. So 68 looks pretty decent to me. I think the upside is too good to resist. So if we do get that move there, it's worth taking on risk for me. Anything down there, it's worth looking at some risk on Say. Look at 68, and then your upside targets, they're pretty high. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Let's just look at the size of the move. 33, 62%. Okay, so DGen play here. You've got to be a DGen sometimes when things are ripping like this and it's not pulling back. These are your secondary entries. These are your momentum plays. And obviously it comes with another degree of risk. So just play safe, but understand your levels, understand your risk. And remember, these big moves, if you're going to get a 30% pump, you don't need a massive size to start your trade. You can start a trade very small. When there's momentum, you can just start adding and growing that position quite quickly. So you don't have to full ape your full size as you buy the token. Let it play out for you a little bit. manage your risk accordingly. Then when it starts moving, then you can get a little bit more juicy. So I took this in my demo, my Bitfunded demo account. Remember, guys, Bitfunded is prop trading, simple plan. You send them $79 or $100. They give you a $5,000 or $10,000 demo account. You trade, you make 8%, you make 5%, then they give you real money and you keep 80 to 90% of the profits, okay? So if you spend time opening a few of these things and passing a few of these challenges and the bull market is cooking and suddenly you have options, you got 5 different trading accounts with other people's money, could be a fun game, okay? So worth the exercise. They are quite strict with their rules. You've got to manage your stop. You can't have certain size drawdowns every day. So just pay attention to the parameters. This is not something you go in and you ape max size on day one because you're probably going to get invalidated on it. So you've got to manage your position size. Like I'm running a $50,000 account here, but you can see my position size. I opened a 10K position. Okay, we're just pushing on little thing. Let it grind out. Okay, at some point we can have a $50,000 account of other people's money. Imagine the damage we can do with that thing. Okay, so we're working on it. Well, it will come. Okay, it will come, and we're going to get there slowly. So the next one I've got for you guys is Popcat. Now, this was a banger, and I need to know, did you guys get this Popcat trade? Did you get the trade, or were you too scared when the market was falling over? Did you trust the hot zones? Did you trust the Lord zones? Okay, look at this entry that I gave you guys yesterday. It was dropping straight into 1.28. What did we have here? We had a VWAP, we had our 0.5, we had our horizontals. It was the perfect move from a sell-off here, bang, into 1.28, and a beautiful pump there on Popcat. Now, look what happened. Back into our VWAP resistance. So no surprises there. The VWAP is acting at major resistance for us again on a lot of tokens. With Popcat, we've seen it, Sol, a lot of the others. I think even Phantom is under a bit of VWAP pressure there. Okay, well, let's just finish playing here. Yes, sir.
I just want to let the guys know if they want to learn about VWAPs and the hot zones to just jump in the description and take the accelerator course and then hop in the Discord with us.
Correct. Now, guys, there's a course. I've released the course. It's the accelerator trading course. It's all the TI I do with all the fibs, the VWAPs, all these things you see, plus chart prime, all those oscillators, all those indicators you've just seen us using. It's a bundle in the course. You can take the course, learn how I do TA, learn how I do all of this stuff, and then you can jump into chart hackers with us and come hang out with our community. And we're a group of savage traders in there, and there's all different styles in there. It's an absolute banger. So all that information is in the show description for you guys. Now, let's just finish on Popcat. This is Popcat on the 1 hour. So we can see what happened here. We had a perfect dump into our entry zone. Okay, nice little push here on Popcat. And just a reminder, my high conviction Popcat play, no changes. Okay, I didn't get more entries. Unfortunately, my buys are lower down. 1.01, 0.89. I'm waiting. If they want to come send us there, I'm buying more. Okay, we're gonna really grow this thing if they do send us lower. Right now it's $33,000. Let's see if we can get it even bigger if there is a dip there. And then I do have that head short Popcat play here at the top. You can see I shorted Popcat as a hedge on WeX. And that thing is playing out. Cass is green. Link is doing nicely here still. Whiff was a tiny position bought off a limit order. That thing's okay. Sol was also, Sol is a pullback play, okay, that I was looking for. And that's why I started such a small position on Sol. And we still haven't got that pullback to buy the other orders. So Sol is just doing its thing. But look at this. Myro, Raymond. Fuck me. We are back in business. Okay, so
let's fucking go.
Yes, baby. So this Myro, guys, if you've lived this Myro trade with me, I really hope you are still in this Myro trade. This Myro trade was pain. Okay, this Myro trade was pain. We watched this thing bleed down to minus $2,500, $2,800. We added, and we had conviction on it. And look at this thing now. Look at this thing. It's plus 3,100. It's finally printing, and now we can bring our stops to entry. The pain is over. There's only gain now on Myro. So Myro is absolute banger, and what a trade for WeX. That was an absolute banger there. Let's take a look at Myro. Now, I dropped this in hackers today as well, and I told everybody Myro is breaking the 200-day moving average. Myro is looking bullish. I gave them a stop. 11926 was their stop loss, and that was that. Okay, told them I added to my Myro position, and this thing is not cooking. Okay, so targets for Myro, if you are trading Myro, targets for you 138, and then look at that liquidity zone from chart prime here, 157. 157, 138. These are target zones now for you for this current Myro move. Now that we've broken the 200-day MA, that's pretty bullish, okay? That's pretty good. So even a pullback there could be quite nice for us. Could be quite a nice Myro play. So hopefully some of you guys got some of that Myro. And I did tell you guys yesterday about Myro. I gave you that setup as well. So hopefully some of you guys did get some Myro action. Okay, guys, I'm out. Remember, everything I talk about is in the show description. From the exchanges I use, from 𝗬𝗡𝗄, everything is there. The indicators, the school, the chart hackers, everything is going down. Bitfunded is in there as well for you guys. So go shopping. If there's anything that interests you, it's all there for you guys. I'm back tomorrow, same time. No, normal time on Banter Plus. I was late today. Tomorrow, I'm back half an hour early. Okay, we'll see you guys then. Later. What a banger. What a banger.
Harnik